morning. I think we're live, y'all. We had a few technical difficulties here. A lot of the cords were unplugged for some reason, and we're getting ready to get started. Hey, go ahead. Go ahead and just talk.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. The YouTube link is not live. Okay. Oh, here we go.
Should be now.
We're live. A slight delay, but
It's definitely a delay. Yeah, you can't watch it and listen to yourself at the same time. All right, fellas, ladies, gentlemen. Lights, camera, action. Good morning.
good morning, everybody.
You know, I kind of love things getting thrown my way. My son, I was on a 4-day out of town, out western trip with him, and he said, "Dad, you know, it's not an adventure till something goes wrong."
Right.
Like, that's right.
True. But please, if you ever use anything up here, just don't touch anything up here. Just sit here.
Oh, there's a lot of cords that were
Just
unplugged.
sit here and smile. Yeah, please. There were multiple things unplugged that we have no idea. So, but we're here, and that's all that matters. So,
All right. We are going to look at that. Even worse. Oh, you take us away, Lee.
so this is the same quote as last week. I was looking for another one, but you know, change is hard. So, change is inevitable. Growth is optional. Obviously, we're at a time in our lives, in our company's history, where change is happening, and so as we know from COVID, everything changed, and now it's a point where you grow. And so, to the next step,
The live stream works. We're going to get out of town. Or
Jeremy set us up. He went to Italy, and just like Karen said, "Peace out, y'all figure it out." And then the next slide is just kind of to put a little humor on things. I welcome change as long as nothing is altered or different. So, feel that as well.
That's good. All right, so we've got our music. I'm going to start it over because I kind of like our music. Do you like it? Do you like the Jeopardy music? Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of fun. All right, talk to the person next to you. 30 seconds. Tell them what you're grateful for. Ready to go.
I'm grateful we got this up and going in a flash.
You're grateful we had the. Grateful we figured that out this morning.
Yeah, I don't even know how we did that, but we did.
So. What are you grateful for today, Lee?
I have a listing preview today, which is good for a listing appointment.
That's good.
So we love that. What about you?
I'm grateful I just took this awesome trip.
Yeah, that video was awesome.
Nobody fell off the Grand Canyon.
Always a plus.
Ledges, and,
I love it.
we had a really great time. Awesome. Was this from?
Yeah, I thought I hid that one, but it was just Hunter talk on the phone.
That's funny.
Hid the next two, yeah. Or hide the next two.
There we go. All right, bring it on back. What y'all got?
All right, everybody. I wish I could whistle, but I can't.
Who's got some gratitudes? Anybody want to share?
Then that's what we just have to do is ask them to share, and then everybody gets very quiet.
It's so noisy and so quiet.
Well, I'm grateful for the weather this morning. I don't know about anybody else, but it was actually cold when I went outside to walk the dogs, and then it feels great. So
I took my daughter to summer camp this morning, and she turned on the heat seater, and I was like, the heat seater, the seat.
Heat's here.
Heat seater, the seat heater. That's funny, the heat seater. She turned on the heat seater. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, what's a little chilly?
It's a little chilly. It was.
Yeah, it was. So
It's nice.
I'm grateful for that. All right, anybody else?
Bethany, yay! Her first sales meeting.
All
Right.
Well, let's see here. Was this from last week? I love
Don't
this.
quit before the magic happens.
Jimmy D, the original ninja. How often do we do this in terms of like working with a client and it's like we're so close And sometimes it makes sense to quit with a client. If you're showing them 164 houses
Yeah.
over the last 18 months and they haven't bought one, then
Maybe time.
time for a regroup for sure.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times, but it's with our marketing mainly. It's like our marketing, our outreach, our notes, our calls, or
Yeah.
our 40x stuff, or just our habits is
It's like posting on social media, even though you don't want to, you just have to like keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
so don't quit.
All right, a couple cups of tea for today. So the next slide, when we go to the next one. So details are emerging and have been released related to the outdoor space over at Nashville Yards. It says, okay, so exterior updates, you'll see a bunch of different renderings. Obviously, all of this is not official, but this is just kind of what they're wanting to do. So Union Station Hotel is going through a revamp, and that will be part of the Nashville Yards footprint. And so the new project is called The Landing, and they're trying to tie in the Union Station Hotel into the new development. Ascension St. Thomas Landing is what it will be called, which will be bordered by the Grand Hyatt and the Pinnacle buildings on the east, north, and south, and the Gulch Railroad tracks on the west. The landing will include a dog walk, a small amphitheater, restrooms, pickleball courts, a food and beverage structure, and a projection screen, seemingly for outdoor movie showings. It's about 1.3 acres. If you want to go to the next slides, there's a bunch of different photos. The 6 pickleball courts will be located under downtown Broadway's viaduct and connect Ascension St. Thomas Landing to its existing exterior space at Union Station. These upgrades will allow for outdoor and primarily covered social events to be held at the hotel. They're hoping to start work pending Metro approval on the landings this summer, with construction concluding in the spring of 2025, which means the winter of 2026. The cost has not been disclosed. The efforts to undertake Ascension St. Thomas Landing comes as SWVP, the developer, preps to open the Pinnacle office tower by early 2025 and 2 apartment towers, the Everett and the Emory, also by early 2025. So the next few photos are really cool, really pretty over there.
That makes me a little dizzy.
I know, right? You keep going. Okay, so down here is where we're looking. So the music venue, obviously, I don't know, some of this is hard to read. Here's the Union Station Hotel.
This is Broadway.
Over
That's
here.
Church Street.
And then all of this lovely construction, I believe that is Church Street
This is
right
Church
here.
right here.
So Amazon Tower 1 and 2, and then some parcels that have not been released on what they're going to be. So I don't know if you've driven down Church Street in a while, but it's very different and looks really cool. So when it's all done, it's going to be super nice to have all of
Yeah,
that.
so the Grand Hyatt is built, the landings area, Union Station Hotel, everybody knows where that is,
Yeah.
I think.
So here's the some renderings of pickleball courts and outdoor areas. Keep on going. Looks really nice. So obviously, definitely weddings, stuff like that. Pickleball, which I still have not played. I hear it's all the rage, but okay. And this isn't something that we can sell, but it's really nice to know and really pretty. So the Memoir Residential is a 273 unit apartment building in the up and coming neighborhood of Wedgwood, Houston. It's now open. The apartments are located at 1125 4th Avenue South, near the neighborhood's distinct guitar landmark. They offer studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms. The community includes 27 fully furnished units for shorter stays. They see these units used for traveling musicians. On-site amenities include pickleball courts, putting green, ping pong, dry sauna, and a cold plunge. Love it. The apartment also offers a full-service coffee and cocktail bar, fenced-in dog park, and a fitness studio with roll-up doors that open onto a pool deck with cabanas. A quote from them is, "We design Memoir for those seeking a vibrant city lifestyle without sacrificing comfort and convenience." Memoir is located 2 miles from downtown and sits in the heart of Wedgwood, Houston, a neighborhood that is attracting the city's best restaurants, shopping, and businesses. AJ Capital is widely recognized as the driving force behind Wedgwood, Houston, which I would argue Mark Deutschman started it, but anyway, the redevelopment and also the leading redevelopment of the Belmead Plaza. If you're not familiar, is the ugliest shopping center in Nashville and the richest part of the city. And AJ Capital just sold. Wait, graduate hotel for $210 million to Hilton. Yes. And Memoir Residential is also planning to open the same brand in New Orleans and in Portland in June. So kind of cool.
Very
really
cool.
pretty.
So it's like a short-term rental.
But you can live there long term. They'll have some
Long-term,
short-term rental stays,
short-term
and then, but really trendy and cute.
Yeah, very cool. All right.
All right.
Katie Riley, you want to come up?
Hi guys,
What's up, Katie?
I'm Katie. I used to be a teacher, so I used to talk in front of people a lot, but I haven't done it in a while, so bear with me.
Teachers make the best real estate agents because you're good at herding cats.
That's why Bobby
And you're
Noreen
good
insisted I come on, even while I was still teaching.
You also have to have a plan. You have to be
Yes.
prepared before the next day starts.
Yes, and I can
Really good skill
tell
set.
when people do not know what I'm talking about. So
What grade did you teach?
I taught middle school and high school math.
So you could really tell when they were like,
Their glazed-eyed 16-year-olds at 7 a.m. Yeah, fun, fun.
but you've been in real estate for how long now?
Like 7 years.
I was going to say 7 or 8, yeah.
8 years, yes.
That's cool.
So I know, thanks. I stopped teaching so that I could be home with my little kids. It's been great. So I did for Compass, and I was just going to share with you guys a couple takeaways.
So you went through it as an agent.
I did, yes, as an agent, and I was so excited about this that I was kind of gave Hunter a little hard time about when can we get on? I want to get on like immediately. So as soon as I got that email, I was like, sign me up. Let's see what we can do, especially after the little spiel that we got showing all of the integration and the background stuff.
The mean teaser that then was like,
Yeah,
well, September.
I was like, that was a little tease, but I went in. So I went, and I was just going to share with you guys some of the cool things that were takeaways for me, especially things that you can do immediately, not so much like the really deep stuff. So just a few highlights for you. If you sign up online, if you get an email to sign up, you'll go to a training in person, which is really helpful. There'll be people there that will help you get logged in with your email address, with the website, so that you're in person and on the platform, which is always nice. It's not like a Zoom where you're like, I can't get in. You know, you're in person and someone's walking around like, what's your, are you in, and making sure that the whole group was in the website, and then also on the app on your phone. So really when you go out, you should be logged into everything, ready to run. You're not just like watching someone explain it to you. So really hands-on, and then there are some very immediately usable features. That's what I'm going to focus on here. And then it's kind of like a brief overview just to get you started. So you'll definitely have to go back to some more trainings to dig in deeper or watch videos or whatever. But there's also points where you can kind of start where you want, which I think is really nice. So if you want to start with your database and get it in there and do all the stuff with that, you can do that. If you only want to search and use the search features, you can just do that. So it's kind of like meet you where you're at kind of thing. So I'll point out a few of the highlights. You go to the next one. The first thing that you can definitely immediately use is search. So basically, Compass's website has integrated our MLS into their search platform. So it looks really familiar. It looks like RealTracks. So it's very kind of intuitive to use because you're already using that. It has some enhanced searching features, which you can dive into. It's everything in one place. So I hadn't really realized this, but as I started playing with it, technology is cool, and I like it because sometimes you don't realize you're working harder until you're given something that makes it work easier, right? And then I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it was so difficult. But one thing I do when I'm searching properties is I like to go back, especially on like new constructions or remodels, and look at past photos of homes. Do you guys do that a lot? Mm-hmm. And on RealTracks, you're like scrolling down, like what's the sales history? You're clicking on it. It's opening a different window, or it's like a lot of clicking happening. And then I also like to use Google Street View, which pops up in another tab, and then I'm toggling back and forth, and then I have 50 tabs, right? So that's like a normal part of my workflow that I didn't realize was a little cumbersome. And on Compass's website, both of those things are all on the immediate screen when you click on the home. So I just put a screenshot on here, but you can see like there's the map that looks like RealTracks. I clicked on the house. Here's the house. Up in the right corner, it says past photos. So you can click there and it goes to all the past photos. And then I even showed like on this drop down, it has all the past listing times right there. So I clicked on like, oh, let's see what it looked like in July. Let's see what it looked like in 2020. Let's see what these people did to it when they owned it.
That's
How
cool.
fast was it flipped over? Yeah. And then also Street View is on that same screen. So you're all in one place instead of going back and forth between a bunch of different apps. So that's, yes, on mobile too. I haven't played too much on mobile, but I did check that that's there as well. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. It was something that I didn't really realize was a little cumbersome that I was doing regularly. And then when I got on here, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like one click and everything is right there. So there's a little less toggling back and forth. Also, all of Middle Tennessee, there's like East Tennessee, and more of the MLSs in Tennessee are all available on Compass's site as well. So you can see stuff in Chattanooga or Memphis or even like Southern Kentucky. So there's more listings in there. It's a familiar search, I already said that. And then you can also see all the off-market stuff that we've been talking about with Compass's off-market. So you can click on that and it will immediately show all of the off-market. Something else that I thought was really nice, go back one more time, sorry. I didn't really highlight it, but up at the top of that search screen where it says coming soon, yes, right there, there's just buttons that say like all, coming soon, under contract, closed. So like when you're looking at a map, you could just click on closed and it would change to filter everything that's closed. So it's like really pretty nice. You can go back and forth if you just wanted to glance or if you wanted to dive in, and then you can click back to all. So search, I definitely think would be something that you could immediately start using instead of just using your real tracks. Just log into your Compass and use the search. Okay. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, I love it.
Next
This is
one.
awesome. And you just so like you volunteered. You're like so excited about this.
Yeah.
You've been a village agent and a parks agent, and
Yeah.
you're not like this is not a paid promotion.
No, I'm not
You're just
selling it
excited
or
about
anything. I was excited.
This is awesome.
Yeah. And I just think it's cool that there are some features that are immediately usable. Like you don't have to have your whole database or import all your paperwork or whatever. Like you can just open the site like you do realtracks.com and search, and then it immediately I was like, well, I want to use this instead. So there's some benefits for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks. Okay, next one is marketing. So you've seen the videos of like how easy it is to edit. I used to use Canva for my marketing stuff, and I would like take a pre-made marketing thing. Again, I come from a teacher background, so I try to do everything for free. So I do it myself. But I would take it from like our marketing, and then I would put it in Canva and try to like edit and add my pictures, and I'd have to upload from my computer and make a little blurb and create this marketing just to kind of make it fit my own needs. But everything in Compass's marketing tab is editable for you. You can drag and drop photos, you can drag and drop text, and then also all of your information is loaded in there already. So like my information, I didn't put anything in. I just opened a marketing thing, and this is what popped up on my marketing thing, Katie Watley. And it has like my phone number and my office, and it says like my Compass email. If I wanted to change that, I just click on it and type in the different address. So I think that's pretty cool. And then the other cool thing was that all of my listing information was also in there. I didn't put my listings on Compass's website. They're on RealTracks. So when I typed in my address for my listing right here, it pulled up like, oh, here's your listing at Woodmont Boulevard. And I clicked on it, and it pulled the pictures from the MLS and put it into a video, a pre-made video that I could edit to my specifications. So very cool. Your info's already in there. All of your listing photos, your listing description, all of the stats. It made a video that said like 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on the ground floor. I didn't put any of that in there. So that's kind of cool. It's already pre-made, ready to go. So that's another thing you could definitely use immediately without any extra, like after the 1 hour training, you could make stuff on here for sure.
That's
okay.
really cool.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, last thing is the AI. So that was another tease that I thought was cool because I've used ChatGPT and said like, please type a listing description for me. I am not creative. I need some language. I need a listing description, and I would type in like, I need a listing description for this house. It has this many bedrooms, blah, 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 all the features, and I'd have to type that into ChatGPT. Well, on Compass AI, I typed in the address of my listing, and it created it based on the MLS thing that I had. So you could also do that for, I guess if you didn't have it entered in the MLS already, you would have to Well, no, actually, I did one that wasn't listed, and it pulled previous info from wherever it finds info, and made a listing description for me. And then that's completely editable too. And there's all of these pre-made prompts for you. So even if you don't really know how AI works, you could just click on, oh, I want to create a just listed post. And you click on it, and AI says, like, just listed, and creates an entire post for you. Post means the verbiage that you would put, right? So it creates all of that language for you, and then you can go in and edit it or copy it or whatever, however you want to. And you can even click the tone, like, do you want it to be witty, modern, whatever, which is kind of fun.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
The tone?
And then you can also, it has like pre-made
cool.
prompts. So if you don't know what you would use AI for, you can look at the list and say like, oh, maybe I would like to use one of these things. Or you can just make your own prompt and say like, I want to send an email to my friend to blah, 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 and it will create it for you. So that's definitely something you could use immediately. It's literally a button on the side that says Compass AI, and this pops up. So those were kind of the 3 big takeaways that I thought, like after this 1 hour training and getting logged in, I could use these things immediately to better my business, and to be more efficient and not have to create so many things on my own, right? And then the last
Katie's
thing,
got a smart tone right now. I'm just saying, like in the nice smart way, not
It is
smart,
smart.
not smart,
no, I think that's good. Smart. Thanks.
and personable.
Okay, and last slide, I was just going to say, obviously, these are just the like immediate things that you could do, but if you want to import your database, you can use the Compass platform to do that. It can also import from any Gmail account that you have. So like I clicked on my Gmail, and it imported all my contacts and all my emails from my Gmail, so I didn't have to create a spreadsheet from that or anything. And then I could go in and click like, I think you have to verify or something to say like, okay, this person's a client, this person's another agent, this person's a lender. If you wanted to do that, you wouldn't have to, but you could kind of go in with that. That's where you could use that like likely to sell feature and that kind of thing. Also, you can use within the Compass platform, their forms and signatures. So like all of the forms that you need from that we use on a regular basis per transaction and signature platforms are within that website as well. So if you wanted to use that straight away, you could, or if you're more comfortable with your platform, you could continue on that. And then you can also use Business Tracker to track your business and put your transactions and everything into there. So ultimately, it would be a one-stop shop, right? For everything you need.
What is the business tracker like? Have you messed with that at all?
A little bit. It's just like you can just import your listings and then import your clients, and it is basically kind of like Beamit, but on Compass version. Yeah.
So you imported from MLS, maybe?
I did, yeah. I just typed in the address of my listings and it pulled it in. Yeah, so you can do like a ton more with it. If you wanted to bring your database and try to get going with that, you could. Or if that's something, obviously you could do down the
Did you
road.
play with the signature tool?
I didn't yet.
I think it's DocuSign. That's what powers it.
Oh, yeah, use that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I
Yes.
like it.
So all that would be in there on that same site, and you don't have to, go back and forth or like save PDFs to your desktop and then upload them to a different website. Yeah.
Do you know ultimately if we're going to be using Business Tracker for compliance, or that may be more?
That's probably a
Down
longer,
the road.
yeah, that's a longer term thing. We talked about that last week on Wednesday. We had a broker meeting, and Robert Ruckin came to town, and we talked. He was talking about this. So I don't know the answer to that, but
TBD.
it probably would make sense at long term. But I mean, right now we've got, Village uses VMint, kind of, the Village portion of Parks. Parks uses Lone Wolf. Pilkington used a different version of Lone Wolf. So like, we're already doing 3 different systems on the back end. That's really from an accounting standpoint, but
And I believe you get same day commission checks with Compass with their back-end accounting software. So as long as you have all your paperwork in, which
There'll be an adequate transition time.
yeah, we'll make sure. Yeah.
They told
Tomorrow.
us, and they told us when at the training not to put any, he said tomorrow. They told us not to put any of our prior transactions in here, and that if you wanted to just continue on your platform through, I think, the end of the year, that would be totally fine. Or if you wanted to try to do one transaction in the new one and continue on with what you had in your old. It's kind of like up to you, meet you where you're at kind of thing, is what it sounded like at the training.
So I'll let you know, the initial plan was to roll this out. We did that little teaser, and then part of the plan was to roll it out in September, October, because there's kind of an upgraded version of this coming out, and rolling on, onboarding like 1,600 people is a lot at one time. But there was a lot of pushback of like, hey, you can't do that. Like you're saying, you're talking about this cool stuff, and then you're like, but now you have to wait. So there's been a lot of back end, a lot of motion happening in the background to try to make this happen sooner for everybody. So basically the sign up links are out there. I think we've got maybe a QR code in here if you want to sign up. So that's what you did. You signed up and then you got an email saying, hey, we're doing an in-person onboarding. You can either do it on this day or this day.
Yep, I got like a email that said, which day would you like to do it? Choose from 2 this week. And I just picked the one I wanted, and then send me info on who would be there, what time, where to go, all of that. So yeah, awesome.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Katie. That was really cool. And then it's kind of the immediate need is if you go to, what's the website? Is it coming soon?
Compass-Nashville.com, I believe. And the password is buyer needs. And then you can submit your exclusives, and they have a buyer need, which is nice to have.
Yeah, we'll send that out again, but I think it's something a little different from that maybe. But anyway, you can look at a list of coming soons and then submit yours. But that's just a temporary fix for kind of the interim if you're not on the system, but then ultimately we'll get you on the system. So sign up for that. All right. Tech platform demo. There's another one today at 11 o'clock, it looks like.
And then again on Monday.
And then Monday. What else do we have here? Mr. Lee?
We have the Monday Zoom is continuing, and then we're going to revamp get some spotlight, or not spotlight, but some like experts to come in and do some talks on like cost segregation, things that like can help us lower our taxable income, which we love to see. And then obviously you can explain that to your client in a way that helps them. So coming soon on Talks.
Very cool.
He's saying.
I want to make sure everybody knows if you are a mentor and doing the Perks 101 classes, they are canceled till July 18th.
Okay. If you're in TV land, the Parks 101 classes have been postponed until July 18th. So enjoy your June.
Important for everyone to know. Try and get on the Compass platform.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sign up for that.
That would be the best thing to do, yeah.
definitely.
There are some classes, this is just some info that was in the Monday update, Parks Monday update, the mentor program. So is that Parks 101?
Parks 101 is on Thursday from 10 to 1.
10 to 1, yeah.
Yeah, that is not.
Not for June. So
Not for June. Okay, so that's, scratch that, that's canceled. Got it. There's another Ninja coming, September 23rd or 26th. If you're interested in doing it for the first time, doing it again, sign up, go to ninjaselling.com and you can sign up. Registration opened last week, so
perfect.
Look forward to that.
Awesome. So we are planning to host a Pride booth at Pride Nashville this year. We're going to have some shifts that you can sign up for. We also get to march in the parade. We have some cool shirts that we're making. So if you're interested in doing any of that, Zach loves a QR code, so I put one on here.
Good job, Lee. Fun.
We're trying to get all of this confirmed today because we need to make sure we have the T-shirts in. So we'd love to have you come. It's one of the biggest festivals in the state, and we've been a sponsor not the past couple of years, but years prior. So come show your pride.
Very cool. And that's June 22nd and 23rd.
Yes.
So in 11 days.
It's wild.
Very cool.
Okay, so just wanted to touch on a couple things. I took the ABR last month at Greater Nashville Realtors, and some things that we kind of pester you with as far as paperwork we talked about. And so I just wanted to give you a reason behind the reason we like to ask for these forms. So if you want to go to the next slide,
For
Zach.
those who don't know what ABR stands for, it's a
Accredited
designation.
Buyer Representative. The National Association has given grants to all the associations to offer this class for free. Typically, it is like a $200 class. There was 98 people in the class that I was in, so the entire room was full. And it's nice to kind of just relearn, especially the changes that are coming in
The ABR
August.
years ago, it was one of the coolest classes I took.
It's good stuff. It
good
scares you
stuff.
a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but it's nice to know what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. So the lovely lead-based paint disclosure form that is required for homes built prior to when? Don't look at the screen. The EPA is the enforcement agency behind this, and so if you did not know, you can get fined for two things. One, if they sign the form but they don't check the box, I think that's a $10,000 fine. Congratulations, Merry Christmas. And if the lead-based paint disclosure is signed after the purchase and sale agreement, that is also a fine. So if the EPA decides to surprise us and come in here and looks at your file and you forgot to get that signed, or you're the listing agent, you forgot to upload it in the MLS, and they sent the contract 2 days ago and they signed that today, that's a fine. And they are pretty hefty and they do not play. So I think another firm in town, Karen, was like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fines for this several years ago. So another reason why, if you're a listing agent,
They really crack down on property management.
okay,
EPA, they don't play.
they don't play. And so listing agents, please make sure this is in the MLS. If you get an offer without this, please make sure you respond to say we need this signed the same day. We're all guilty of this. It's okay. We share all of that.
If we have, we just did.
Just do it, sign it right now. It's already signed, yeah. I mean, just going forward, just as an FYI, I mean, this could still happen to us, hopefully not.
I think it's either important to send these with a listing agreement, or I like to even send them before, especially the property condition disclosure, because that can take a minute for them to read through. They really have to read through it and fill it out.
Yeah.
And so I always thought it was good to, like, if you go check out a property, go ahead and send those docs afterwards and say, you know, I know we're still talking about pricing and things like that, but this is going to take a little bit. These disclosures, you have to fill them out.
It's important.
State and federal law.
You can sign it.
Mhm.
So.
The lead paint, yeah. Yeah, the lead paint should be signed as,
It should just all
be
be in the
on the
offer.
listing.
When you send the offer to sign, all the disclosures should be in there. The next one, this would be something that Trek enforces. Karen, do you remember the fine for this? It was like thousands of dollars. I can't recall. But if the property condition disclosure is signed after the contract date, that is also a fine. And if you do not know, if the seller disclosed something on the property condition disclosure, that is not grounds for termination during the inspection period. So just keep that in mind
Say that
when you're
one more
talking
time.
through that. So
Say
like
that
if they
again.
disclosed that there was a fire at the house or some crazy damage, and your client does the inspection and ultimately wants to get out over those details, contractually they are not able to, because the seller already disclosed that when they submitted the offer, because it was signed with the offer. So another thing, Trek is on the prowl. They are coming back to check things, and this is going to be one of them. So we don't do all this to be very nitpicky. It's to keep all of us out of realtor jail and keep money in our bank account. So yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what if the seller did not put it on the listing and the seller's out of country and the buyer really wants to make an offer, and in special stipulations they put, this is contingent
Totally.
on the receipt of the property conditions.
That would be a good idea.
That would be the
Put in
really the
special
safest.
stipulations contingent upon receipt, and approval of
Yep.
property condition disclosure and lead-based paint disclosure. I think everybody should be okay with that
Okay,
point.
so that would be.
I would think.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
I don't know what Trek would say, but I think we would have grounds to say we didn't have it,
And you
and
made it.
we made it. We tried to,
Yeah.
essentially.
Just taking your fire example, like if it's on the property condition disclosure and during the inspection you find a damage is worse than we thought or whatever, would you also say, hey, we want to move forward, but based on what we found in the inspection about how it was handled, was it truly repaired, add that special step, like contingent upon the.
Totally.
Just because it was mentioned in there doesn't mean that it indicates.
The full scope of, totally. You would just want to,
Yeah, I think, I mean, you were pretty black and white in that, and I agree with that to an extent, but it is a gray area. It's like, you know, sometimes sellers will be like, you know, there was a, you know, minor water intrusion
Right.
during the 2010 flood, and then you start talking to the neighbors, and you're like, man, that water was up to the roof.
yeah. And the neighbors
Only
will
for a
tell.
minute, though. Then it went
Yeah.
down. So I think it was minor.
And if you are going to terminate over something that was disclosed, just find something else to terminate.
Yeah.
Pick your battles, people. So I just wanted to, those are my biggest takeaways, especially as your broker, that the dates are very important to track. We are gearing up to start, this will be breaking news, holding earnest money again. And so we'll have more training on how that process works. We've run into many issues where the contracts are black and white. It's a financing contingency, it's appraisal contingency. Seller refuses to sign the release, the title company refuses to release the money, and we have no power. But if we were the broker of record holding the earnest money, Karen and I could just sign that check right out. And we will, because it is black and white in the contract, and we've had multiple issues with this at multiple companies, not just us. It's happening all across the city. So,
Oh, self-portrait.
yeah, this is how I feel currently on the inside. You forgot, you forgot to turn in your paperwork last night. So in the same vein, we're going to make this a lot easier for you. So in the past, it's been you get your closing check and then you run to VMint to get everything in before the title company can courier the check to us. That is not the way it's supposed to work, especially for a listing. If Truck were to come in here and say, I want to see the listing paperwork for 123 Main Street, and we don't have it from you, that's a problem. So what we're going to start doing is once you have a new listing or you go under contract on your listing or the MLS is marked, under contract not showing and it puts Lead Fund as the buying agent, Kathy or Casey will send you a congratulations email on your contract or your new listing, and it will give you many options on how to get us the paperwork. You can email the paperwork to compliance. You can submit for review in .loop and Transaction Desk. Or you could it's just a little ding and it's done. You can upload it into VMint if you're good to do that. You can respond back to the email and say, hey, the executed listing agreement is in my loop, and then we will go and grab it for you. Because what we're finding is when it comes to getting your check and your contracts organized, all of a sudden we forgot the lead-based paint. So then we have to go back to everybody to get that signed, and then the buyer and the seller are annoyed, you're annoyed, we're annoyed, everybody's frustrated, but if we just did it at the beginning, we avoid any potential fines, any liability for us. So yes,
you
ma'am.
like it, it's submitted when the listing is submitted, whether you're contract.
Correct. As soon as you have your executed listing agreement and any of the affiliated business arrangement, anything that just your side has to sign, just go ahead and submit it and get it out of the way. And then we'll take care of it. So this is kind of new for us. We've always just kind of uploaded it as we've gone, but we're seeing more and more people wanting exceptions for documents that they don't have. And I mean, I get it. We're busy. It's just, I always forget the control sheet and I'm waiting on my money and I don't know where it is. And they're like, hey, you haven't submitted this. So it happens to all of us. If you don't have a transaction coordinator, we're just trying to make it easier for you. And so when you see this email come through, we're not targeting you. We're doing it to everybody.
I'm trying to make it easy, with every email.
There's multiple ways to do it.
Review.
It helps the work.
Yeah. Also, a good tip would be when you're sending your buyer's contract to the title company and the lender, just CC compliance 21st, and then they've already got all those documents they can just put in the file. So then it's not like you have to go back and do it. Just add them on the chain. I'm emailing the lender. I'm emailing the title company, and I'm emailing the office. So
Cool. Thank you.
yes.
All right. We're going to talk about the market, and we covered a lot today, but the market is, you got 3 months of inventory. Right now, that's down a little bit. So there's more activity happening. Still have good number of listings, but there's a lot of closings happening in the last 6 months. So 3 months of inventory. So that means that if nothing new came on the market, based on the current
Sold
pace
out.
of sales, we would be out of, the shelves would be cleared out of toilet paper and what else was COVID? And hand sanitizer
hand
after 3
sanitizer,
months.
yeah.
Right? We'd be cleared out of the houses after 3 months. Obviously, there's more and more. There's always something coming on the market, but that's looking good. All right, so the FHFA, the heat seaters, they came out. So looking back at Q4 of 2023, we had 3.7% appreciation in all of 2023. So this is looking at it the same data, but obviously 2021 was our most insane year. Average appreciation rate over the last 30 years is 6%. And my question is, what do you think the first quarter of Q1 did? 2024, first quarter of 2024 did, January through March. Do you think we appreciated, depreciated? If so, by how much? You think we deep? I wasn't here last week, but did you do it last week?
I did, but let's test their memory and see. I heard a really good answer. 0.6! Yay! We're making money in Nashville.
It's good. So things can get adjusted a little bit after, when they look at the data, sometimes the last several quarters can get adjusted just by small amounts, but our annual average appreciation rate dropped down to 5.9%. That's good. Again, this is really unhealthy in a big picture. So we need to kind of get, I think this is my personal opinion, we need to get to some even years to make the cost of living stay lower so that we can, be able to afford more houses, or more people be able to afford houses around here. So that's good. That's important.
And if you have any clients, I see with Murray, that are trying to sell when they bought in 2022, they are realizing this very quickly. That the heyday of buying it last year and selling it for $100,000 this year, those are gone.
Yeah.
Thank God. But
so this is good. This is good data. You can find this if you go to. I may have a link on here. Yeah, I'll show you the link in a second. But again, this is the 3.6 is an entire year. The 0.6 is just 1/4 of a year, 1 quarter. So if you took that 0.6, which is 3 months, if you annualize that, multiply it by 4, that's 2.4%. That's not to say that that's going to be, but that's just like simple math. Last year was 3.6%. If you multiplied this times 4, 2.4%. So again, we're under that 5.9% annual appreciation rate on average. But granted, averages that 25% in 2021 threw everything
totally
into the washing machine. So if you want to download these, view them anytime. These always get updated if you go to tinyurl.com/FHFA Nashville. No, just not .com. tinyurl.com/FHFA Nashville. That's right. Thank you. And kind of last thing, did you cover the RealTrax concession stuff last week at all?
No.
Because that came out. So RealTrax is, I'm just going to play a video. RealTrax is they've added a new field, which is the concessions checkbox. There's also the compensation
It's still there.
Don't
panic.
This is, I think, designed to just get you used to the concessions field so that when the compensation piece goes away, if you want to use that, you can. So I'm just going to play this real quick.
Over the last 28 years, RealTrax has helped to build a vibrant community of real estate professionals. With industry change, uncertainty can creep in, but collaboration remains crucial to success in this industry. And rest assured, we've got you covered. RealTrax is adaptable and agile and will continue to empower you by providing the tools you need to run your real estate business. We are pleased to share that a seller concessions offered and a seller concessions amount field are now available in the RealTrax platform. Why make this small addition? We've added this in part due to required practice changes in the recent antitrust settlement agreement with the National Association of Realtors, and of course, our continued desire to provide clean, accurate data in the marketplace. The local market already has concessions as a common practice for sellers and buyers. RealTrax is just providing a clear mechanism to standardize how it's entered in and to make compliance just that much easier. So what are seller concessions? Seller concessions are generally negotiated as part of the buyer's and seller's purchase agreement and can take various forms, such as covering part of the buyer's closing costs and other expenses involved in the purchase. To keep your data clean and accurate, the field is numeric, allowing only for a dollar amount. Following the practice changes in paragraph 58 of the NAR antitrust settlement, concessions are allowed in the MLS as long as they are, quote, not limited to or conditioned on the retention of or payment to a cooperating broker, buyer broker, or other buyer representative. While composing or editing their listing, The listing agent will toggle on the Advertise an Offer of Seller Concessions and then enter in a dollar amount in the Seller Concessions amount field in the listing details section of their listing.
If you want, that's optional.
Once the listing is published as coming soon or active, the seller concessions offered are viewable on the property report by brokers, agents, and consumers here under the list price, as well as in the contract information here. It is important to note that seller concessions are intended to convey the seller's willingness to offer money to prospective buyers for out-of-pocket expenses as another way to market their property and entice buyers. And in line with the long-standing practice, in the RealTracs platform are not binding or guaranteed as they are negotiable in the purchase and sale agreement. As the listing agent changes the status to closed in RealTracs, they will enter in the actual concessions paid here in the total seller concessions paid field. Once the listing is closed, seller concessions paid are viewable on the property report by brokers and agents here in the contract information section. At RealTracs, our commitment to providing software that empowers you, uncomplicates your real estate business while increasing your exposure and boosting your efficiency is always in focus.
All right, so seller concessions. That makes sense to everybody. It is not binding. A couple of key takeaways. Just like a listing price doesn't mean that if there's 3 offers on a listing that's listed at $600,000, you can't go back and be like, well, I'm not paying $650 because you advertised it for $600. It's like, well, yeah, but the contract we negotiated said $650 because you were competing against other people, so that's actually what we agreed upon. Same thing. That can be an offer of compensation. Another point to notice is this says optional right here. So if you just want to click, there's a seller concession offered, but you don't have to put an amount there. Because and especially right now, I think the question would be, if I'm putting a commission amount, well, we can still do that until
August 7th.
August 17th. Yeah. When that goes away, and I put seller concessions and a commission amount, does that create confusion? Potentially, right? I think you could play with it, but I personally probably would not put an amount here if I'm putting a commission amount as well. But I don't, again.
I'm not doing this until I have to.
Yeah, but RealTracs is rolling it out
just
so that
pretending
you
it's not
can,
there.
yeah, so it's not, so you can recognize, start seeing what it looks like. We can get used to it. Again, it's like baby steps toward that. So that's why it's rolled out. Again, it shows up if you put a number. If there's not a number there, it'll just say seller concessions offered. I don't think it says 0. I think it just says seller concessions offered. And that's a great opportunity for a phone call. This is sort of like if somebody offered, hey, home warranty included, or buyer willing to pay a 3-2-1 buy down with acceptable offer, something like that. All of that was in the description, but this is just a checkbox and a line item, numeric line item that goes into the purchase price. But consumers can see that as well. It shows on the listing, it'll show seller concessions offered, and then on the closing, it'll say what seller concessions that offered will change to paid. And that's for looking at comps, looking at for appraisals. I think one question that I don't know, we'll have to talk about this as we go through from a comp standpoint, because there's a lot of realtors in the market, and so when you're pulling comps, do we try to comp something differently if a commission was paid, if not paid? Those are all questions that we'll have ongoing. And then if a commission is paid by the seller to the brokerage, because that was what was negotiated in the contract, like, hey, here's an offer, and in the offer, seller to pay Parks Real Estate, X amount of dollars toward, as buyer, on behalf of the buyer, as the buyer's agent commission. That's, is that a seller concession? Potentially, I don't know.
Right.
That's, again, we'll cover more of that, but that's something to look through. So just note that that's there. It's not designed to confuse you. It's just designed to start creating a little bit of awareness that that's happening. So if you want to sign up for the First Look program, that is here, and then Anybody have any coming soons I want to share? I'm going to leave this up, and we can talk about coming soons and wrap up. I've got
Yes, I do.
get the little one.
Oh wait, okay. So we have rules on coming soon. So you have to say your name, the property address, and your favorite place to go on vacation.
Oh,
I know that's a hard one.
Sylvia, Johnny Tropany, I've got 2 off-market Parks Pilkerton Compass exclusives for right now. One is under 1 million in Westmead, 2.18 acres, renovated, 2,500 square foot, gorgeous ranch, open floor plan. It's a 4.3, 950,000. That's 6817 Pennywell. Again, this is Sylvia Johnny Tropany. I've got a historic, sweet historic Tudor in the heart of Laughlin Springs in East Nashville. It's a 3-bed, 1.5 bath. You can move in and enjoy it, or you can blow out the back. It's an R6. It's got an alley, and it's in the conservation overlay. It's going to be $750, and that's 1620 Gartland. And I don't know if I've been in my favorite vacation place, but I've been trying to go to Spain and Portugal since March of 2020, so it's on my mind.
Well, you just put it out there, so it's gonna. Anybody?
any other coming soons?
Coming soons.
Jan Walters, and I have a coming soon. It will be active late Thursday over in Hip Donaldson at 844 Norwalk Drive. And Virginia went and looked at it for me yesterday. It's a sweet house. It's a 3, 1.5, and it has the largest swimming pool for a house this size. It takes up the whole backyard, in-ground pool. So it's a lovely home, very convenient to the airport. We're listing it at 449, so convenient to the airport, downtown, the interstate, all those things. Coming Thursday.
Not just Donaldson, but Hip Donaldson.
Oh, my favorite vacation? I think about past ones. It's a draw between France and Italy.
All right.
Well, I just loved it.
Any other coming soons? Share?
It's Virginia Rogan, and I have a coming soon on Whitland Avenue. It's a little 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo, affordable at $275. It's fresh painted, got great cabinets, cool pull-out, storage. It will be on the market later this week, and I love to visit Santa Barbara because my son lives there. So
That's good. Those are really cool, I've sold those to some first-time home buyers over the years. Kitchen's awesome. There's a big green space in the back.
Everyone, Whitmore here. Got Lockdown Springs coming this weekend. It's a 3-bed, 3-bath, 3,000 square feet. Interior designer owns it, so it's decorated to the nine, beautiful. We'll be going live on Friday, and I've got one coming in 2 weeks. Westland, that'll be around 275. It's a 5 beds, 5.5 baths, 5,500 square feet. So if you're looking for a Westview or a Lockdown Springs, give me a shout.
Address and price?
Yeah, sorry. First one is Bolton Forest Drive, Forest Avenue. And that is 1485. And Breslin is 4210 Breslin Avenue. I think that's right. And that is coming weekend after next, so 2 weeks from now. That'll be between probably 275 now. Yeah. 5 beds, 5.5 baths, 5,500 square feet. Something like that. All right. Yeah, perfect vacation. I just like going to the beach. I don't need much. Just a chair. Yeah, cool. What's up, son?
Hi, Rachel Foster. I have 3 coming soons. The first one is in Nolensville in the Winterset Woods neighborhood, listing for 774.9, 4-bed, 2.5 bath. You can easily walk to the pool, playground, or the public schools over there. Then one in Lenox Village, that's a 2-bed, 2-bath. That would be 1,200 square feet, and I think we're going to list around 375. And then one at the Ontario, it's basically brand new, about a year and a half old, 1 bed overlooking the community pool, going for 285. And my favorite place to vacation is the Bahamas.
Woo.
Anybody else? I have one over in Porter Village. I can't remember the exact address. I think it's like 1501 Porter, but don't quote me. It's a 1-bedroom condo. It's also one of the like 4 units in the community that is deeded automatically an investor, so you don't have to wait for the waiting list and all that stuff. It was built 2 years ago, and we're going to be around 305, I think. So that goes live this Friday.
Very cool. Any takeaways you want to remember today? Sign up for the Compass platform if you want to do that early.
Katie taught 7 a.m. math to high schoolers, which had to be fun. What do we appreciate?
Wheeltrack's compensation field is going around August 17th, so they're rolling out this new thing. There's both things that are available right now. Just get used to it as you're putting in a listing if you want to check it out. And
turn in your paperwork.
I don't have the rates today, but if you get an email from Christian or Connie, check that out. Connie's not feeling well this morning, so.
Yep.
That's it, y'all.
Right.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. For what? For the pilot?
Yeah.
So just scan that, and then there's a little. Oh, okay. So they're just going down the list. I don't know in what particular order. I think they're describing some from each office and